Hi, this is Manish Pandey. Welcome back. In this video, you will learn what is UiPath Data Service and what is the benefit of UiPath Data Service. Why should we use data service? So let's start. UiPath Data Service. So let's open UiPath Orchestrator first. From this UiPath Orchestrator, click on this options, and then from the more options, you will see here one option called data service. If this is not enabled, you can enable it from the admin page. So let's click on data service. Okay, so this UiPath data service looks like this. The main page showing entities. It has all these tables. Basically entities are called tables. So the word data service, data is that records the data related to anything. Anything means your vendors, your customers, your employees, students, your support tickets, anything, any data that you can store here, that is called UiPath Data Service. Now let's go through the definition first, and then we'll go step by step here. UiPath Data Service is a scalable, cloud-based platform integrated within UiPath that enables users to define, store, and manage structured data efficiently across automations. It provides a secure and centralized location for data storage, allowing easy access to data throughout automations without the need for complex databases or external systems. Now let's understand this UiPath Data Service in a simple word. UiPath Data Service is like an cloud-based database where you can store and manage your data easily, and this can be accessed from your UiPath automations. Basically this can be accessed from other UiPath products like UiPath apps, UiPath Studio, etc. It helps you save data like customer information, product details, customer details, your support tickets, your vendor details, or any records that you use in your automations, all in one central place. Here you can see we have multiple entities, customers, employees, students, support tickets. So these are called tables, these are your entities. So you can store all this here, and this is available here on the cloud.uipath.com. It means this can be accessed from anywhere. I will give you an example related to the automations that you do in your company. Let's say you are working in a company and you are onboarded to a client project, or you are planning to do that. Now let's say you have a process where you have to work on the SAP automations or any vendor related records that you are going to automate. Now there, while automating, there is a need where you have or you need a reference file, basically that is called a mapping file, right? The mapping file looks like, let me show you the Excel file. So let's say that mapping file looks like this: vendor ID, vendor name, address, phone number, email address, payment terms, currency, contact person, tax ID, registration date, status, bank account number. So these are the mapping details that business has to provide, the customer has to provide. And every month or bi-weekly, or you can say every year, this mapping file will be updated. The business has to provide this updated record. So let's say currently business has provided this record from 1 to 10, 1001 to 1010. Now after some time they realize that they want to add some more vendors here, so that board can work on that and get the latest vendors details, and board can process that. Now for that, users, the customers, basically the business users, has to provide the updated this vendor details to the support team, to the UiPath RPA support team, or to the developers, so that they can update this Excel file, and then board can access this and work on that. Now board, the requirement is that board has to search with this vendor ID in this Excel file, in this mapping file you can say, or reference file, and then board has to find the vendor name, because this vendor name is not available anywhere in the that application which bot is going to process for the vendor automations. And then it has to also fetch the email address. Here we have a contact person. So whenever the people is going to leave that company, so that contact person will be also changed. So business has to update that. Now again we have a tax ID, we have a status. So sometimes this vendor 101, this can be currently active, but this can be inactive also. So business has to update that. Now how they update? They send an email to the support team. They say that okay, for the vendor ID this should be updated, the status should be active. Or they say okay, now the payment terms need to change from net 30 to net 45 or net 60, or the contact person needs to change, or they want to add few more vendors. So let's say they will share details like 1011 and then the vendor name ABC industry, like that, and then all the details. Now every time whenever they will share that details, the support team will have to update that Excel file, and then bot will use that one. Now what happens here, the problem is why we do not rely on this Excel file. I have noticed while processing this Excel file using bot, sometimes we get this error, the file is corrupt and cannot be opened. Now due to this, that time bot will throw an error. And now every time whenever we'll get this error, every time like we face the same issue, it will be like always bot will throw this error and then it will mark a system exception, right? Now sometimes we get this type of issue, Excel cannot open this file because the file format or the file extension is not valid. Verify that the file has not been corrupted and that the file extension matches the format of the file. Actually that Excel file is actually not corrupt. It was okay, it was fine that time when we updated. Now after some time when bot is using that, we get this error. Sometimes we get this error, the file format extension this is not matched, so file could be corrupted or unsafe. This type of error message we get. Now so because of this, we do not rely on updating these vendor details in the Excel file. Now what we can do? Now if you don't want to use this Excel file, now you will be thinking that why should I go with the data service? We can use database also. Okay. Now if you are planning to use the external databases, let's say SQL Server or MySQL or Oracle, then for that you have, or there is a separate team required to maintaining this database, like for this SQL Server to take a backup of all these things. Again for database maintenances, the server maintain everything. Even you have all this team set up already and you are using this SQL Server, then you should have the knowledge of SQL query so that you can write it and you can get it. Now let's say you know that, but sometime what happens, I face that also. While establishing a connection between the server, SQL Server and UiPath, we get an error like fail to establish connection between to the server, something like that. If you can relate this exception from your project, then you will able to understand that. Okay, so Excel is also not reliable, the server is also not reliable. There are multiple things that you need to take care, the updates and everything you need to do. Now you are working on UiPath project, UiPath automations. Now UiPath has given here on platform this one service that is called data service, that you can use it. Now why we'll be using this data service here? One more thing. So if you have the data, if you have this vendor data in Excel file, then you know that this can be corrupted, your data will be corrupted again and you don't have the backup. So this will be corrupted, you will not able to use that. So this is not reliable. Second thing, the database that you are updating, then business user cannot update this one. Now the benefit of using this data service, you can create a table called, create an entity called vendor master or vendor details, and you can add all these details here. let's say whatever you have in Excel file like ID, vendor name, payment terms, bank account, the address, city, everything you can store here. Now whenever business has to update the data service, update the details, let's say they want to add one more vendor ID, then no need to reach out to the support team. Business users can directly update that data to the data service. They can add, edit, delete, modify, anything they can do here. They can directly open that customers, that specific, they can add the field, they can add the data, they can delete that, right? So they can do that one, and this is accessible from anywhere because this is available on the cloud. So this is the benefit, and now it is secure. This is also secure. The Excel file was not secure, but this is secure, and this is also very easy for UiPath automations, that bot to get the records from here, to get the details from this entity and then update that whenever required. Now let's understand the key benefits of using data service. This is centralized data. So vendor details are stored in a single location accessible by all the bots. It means that can be accessed from the client location as well. The client, the business users can also update that vendor details there. Real-time updates. So no need to wait for Excel file updates. Business team can update data directly in a data service. Scalability. So as the vendor list grows, the data service can easily handle larger data sets compared to the Excel file. In the Excel file, you know that if we have lots of data added there and multiple formats are there, then this will be corrupted, right? But here, if you have thousands of records available, no problem, you can easily add the data and it can increase the size, right? So it has the capability to handle larger data sets. Accuracy. So it reduces the risk of using outdated data or human errors in the file handling. So in Excel file, if you are updating, might be that is not saved properly, because if you are using OneDrive and that is not synced properly, so it will be that outdated data, right? Or business share that file with you, but you forget to update that Excel file, so that will be a problem. So you can reduce the risk of using outdated data or human errors. So business user can directly update there, right? And you can work on that. Or if business user is sending an email to you, then you can also work on that and reply to them. Same way, if you have any other automations, let's say there is a attended bot where bot has to get details of customers, check their tickets if not there, and the agent is on the call, and then he is asking the name of that person who is calling. Then bot will directly update that customer name and details, and then if there is any issue, bot can create a ticket and then update that entity with the records. Now next time when the customer is calling again, then bot will have access to that data service and it can directly access that the ticket number, ticket details like a status, like that is resolved or not, the person name, everything. And then if that issue resolved, bot can also update that the resolution, like issue resolved like that, or issue pending. Bot can directly update to the data service, and it can access, update, everything it can bot can do. This data service can be also accessed from UiPath apps. You will have seen that we have controls available there, like text boxes, drop downs, labels, those things we have available. So we can directly access the data from data service, we can update, we can fill the drop downs there. So this data service is very important and very easy to use, secure, and it's available on the centralized locations on the cloud. I hope you learned something from this video. If so, then please like this video and please subscribe this channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.